Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. I have a story here that comes from a rather outre, unusual, unorthodox source, not one of my usual ones. It involves Fergus Ewing, and he's trying to get hold of Nicola Sturgeon and put her in front of a committee, an inquiry even, over the duelling of the A9. Of course, she'll probably resist that, with her terrible memory and all. But the very odd thing is, it hasn't appeared in any of the sort of mainline kind of mainstream publications. It's not in the Express, the Herald, not in the Daily Record, certainly not in the National. But I did find it, and it's in the Strathspey and Badenoch Herald. Like I say, rather an unusual source. But good luck to them. A noble publication. And they've carried what I think is still an important subject, an important story. Certainly the duelling of the A9 is important. And it just seems odd that no one is picking up on these two, what we've got to call major beasts of the SNP, Fergus Ewing and Nicola Sturgeon, locking horns over an important matter like this, and nobody's picking up on it. Nobody's publishing the story. What's going on? Well, you come here for the truth. Here's the truth. Let's have a look at this article, see what's going on, why Fergus wants Nicola to answer some questions. Here goes. So there we go, the Strathspey and Badenoch Herald. I thank you for bringing this story. Couldn't find it anywhere else. Just you. Well done to you. So Fergus Ewing wants to call Nicola Sturgeon to answer questions at the A9 inquiry. And I will just say one thing, Fergus. Good bloody luck. The SNP's headaches continue to grow as MSP Fergus Ewing has revealed he will urge the inquiry into what went wrong with the duelling of the A9 to call former First Minister Nicola Sturgeon to give evidence. Although she'll stand there and she'll be, I can't remember. I have no recollection of these events. We've all seen how she's got the worst memory in the world. Makes you wonder how she's going to write her memoirs for £300,000. It comes after former MSP Alex Neil said his successors as Cabinet Secretary for Infrastructure in 2012, including Miss Sturgeon, must have taken their foot off the accelerator, no pun intended. Miss Sturgeon was also the First Minister from 2014 until 2023. Reading is hard. In a period that saw just 2 of the 11 sections of the A9 duelling programme completed. It's a key period as the committee struggles to discover what happened. Well, there's a lack of money, partially, a lack of impetus, but once the Greens got involved, there was a lack of political will because they wanted to keep the Greens on board, and the Greens said, "Oh no, you must stop. You mustn't do this. You mustn't allow people to make a living. You mustn't allow businesses to grow. You mustn't allow free transport of things." And instead, you're getting, and especially in country lanes, a lot of animals kept on lorries travelling in very bad conditions. And instead of getting them to their destination quickly and humanely, sometimes these animals are sitting in these vans, especially in summer when it's not very pleasant for them, for extended periods of time. And so it goes to show that, animal welfare is not high on the list of priorities for the Greens. Anyway, during Mr Neil's testimony, he rubbished Transport Scotland's claims that the 2025 deadline was aspirational. And that's BS. He was pointing out it was Transport Scotland which came up with that figure in the first place. And asked about what went wrong and why so very little progress had been made, Mr Neil said he believes that his successors, like Miss Sturgeon, must have taken their foot off the accelerator, as said. Basically, they just don't care, do they? Because it's not part of the Central Belt. If it's Central Belt, gets all the money, all the attention. People north of Falkirk, good luck. You get feck all, Now Mr Ewing says, obviously, I shall now urge the committee that we must obtain and hear evidence from Nicola and all the other Cabinet Secretaries who had, after she became First Minister, responsibility for the delivery of the infrastructure plans, including the A9 and the A96. And boy, have I driven across that A96 so many times. I shall also argue, he said, that following up Alex Neil's recommendation that the committee must get access to, and this is the important bit, all the Scottish Government papers, including advice to ministers from their officials and Transport Scotland. They will fight that tooth and nail. That will be a battle to the death. They will not want all the Scottish Government papers coming out, because there'll be stuff in there that will be very, very highly embarrassing to Nicola Sturgeon, to Humza Yousaf now, to a lot of other people who had influence at that time. They won't want this coming out. They won't want people knowing exactly the kind of people they are, the decisions they've made, the things they've said. That's why the truth is so dangerous to them. That's why they have to keep covering it up. All that must include, he said, all that must include some documents that have been withheld from Freedom of Information requests, i.e. all the stuff that they find embarrassing to the government. And of course, your new Scottish Information Commissioner yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I did the story on it, has said that he will make it his job to ensure that nothing that embarrasses the SNP will be released under any kind of freedom of information or right to know requests, which are even higher than FOIs. He's going to hide information from the public, not because they don't have a right to know it, but because it will embarrass the government. Now that can't be right. He cannot have his job as a government official, an independent official, if he's only working for the SNP. But that's what you've got. That's what you're going up against time and time again. This is why all this shit happens. No one wants to admit anything. With that, Miss Sturgeon's testimony reveals could cause even more problems for the SNP, as criticism of the Scottish Government seems to grow by the day. See Mr. Ewing's full column in tomorrow's Inverness Courier, or click here from 7 a.m. onwards. Well, I may well look at the Inverness Courier and pick that up and see what he says. But I mean, I can't guarantee or promise anything, but it would be, I think, interesting. But yeah, well done, Fergus. Don't stop fighting them. Keep up the strength, keep up the fight, and don't let them get away with anything. And with that, I'm going to come up and we'll round off the video. Yeah, so thank you very much to the Strathspey and Badenoch Herald. That's a story that hasn't made it anywhere else. Imagine Nippy having to come out and actually tell the truth. And then having the information presented to her. You say here, Nicola, that you can't remember, but look, I've got the information here. Are you going to deny it? And then she'll be like, and she'll be at all panic stations, won't she? But the truth will come out, and the truth will destroy her, destroy the SNP, destroy them all. And I just love the fact that the truth always comes out. Anyway, well done. As I say, it makes you wonder, actually. It makes you wonder how long it will be before Fergus Ewing has the whip removed again. He keeps doing it, and I praise him for it. He's a fine man. Anyway, call that there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll all say thank you to the Strathspey and Badenoch Herald. Thank you very much, guys. It's a shame it didn't get into the mainstream, but hey, here's the truth. I'm revealing the truth. Anyway, until next time, stay safe, stay well, and remember, the truth is out there, and we will find it. Bye.